Can you beat Pokemon Sword with only one Nickit? So after 3 generations of trying to beat Pokemon games with the rival teams, I wanted to 1. Do a different challenge for once, and 2. Do one in Gen 8. So I thought, why not try to beat the entire game only using my favorite Pokemon of the new generation, Nickit. And weirdly enough, by the time I start this, and even by the time I record the voiceover, I can't find anybody who actually has done this before. So of course I can't use a randomizer to change my starter to Nickit in this, since I can't hack Pokemon Sword and Shield because I don't have a hacked Switch and the games don't run on the emulator yet. Therefore I will catch one on Route 1 as soon as I can and box my starter from then on. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, here are the rules. In battle I can only use Nickit, except for the first battle with Hop after getting the starter. Since there are no HM moves required, and there is really not any other reason to have anything else in your party, anything I end up catching apart from Nickit will also have to be boxed immediately. I will be allowed to use candies from raids to level up Nickit faster, as I'm pretty sure I'll have to be at level 100 eventually, and grinding that out in the wild would take an eternity. No items in battle except for held items. Items outside of battle are allowed though. No glitches, exploits, or help from online functions. Note, as per usual, I will be playing the game in German, as I am more familiar with the German names for moves and items. This means I'll be faster playing in German and looking up English names for stuff I need for this script than playing in English entirely and constantly looking up stuff while playing. I'm currently forcing myself to get used to the English names though by doing a series of catch 'em all runs over on Twitch. Live every Friday, so if you wanna see me play the games in English, link is in the description, follow me on Twitch. If you are not following me on Twitch, then what the hell are you even doing with your life? And of course, as with my rival team challenges, I write the script as I play through the game, meaning this whole part has been written before I start. This is the perfect time for you to leave your guess down below in the comments on whether I can do this or not, or to tell me that this part sounds like I copied it from a dry bread. Either way, let's go. I named my character Deadman as per usual, and unfortunately can't name my rival, as Hop is the latest in the line of rivals that you're forced to use the official name for. Don't worry though, Hop will always be asshat in our hearts. After striking an epic pose, I go get my temporary starter, which I choose to be Grookey, cause this way I get to beat up Sobble, since Hop is a moron and takes the starter weak to yours. After beating up his Wooloo and Sobble, we're forced to run into the Slumbering Weald, where I run from every encounter until Zacian knocks us out with Fog. Finally, we get Pokeballs and I can catch the Nickit we'll play the entire challenge with. I name it Foxy and start leveling it up to have a chance against Hop's team of 3 at the professor's house later. We get the Pokédex app for our phone from Sonia and have Hop escort us into the Pokemon Center, where we can finally get rid of Grookey. After leveling to level 10 on the way, we meet Professor Magnolia and have the first rival fight that's actually part of the challenge. He leads with his Wooloo and I start setting up with Hone Claws. After the 3rd time he growls me, so I only get 2 of the attack buffs, but 2 quick attacks still take out Wooloo. Next is his Sobble, and I keep quick attacking as he uses Pound. Hop makes a big scene out of using Water Gun and growls me once, but Foxy uses the berry she's holding and 2 more quick attacks take Sobble down. Last is his Rookie D, which is only level 5, so 2 quick attacks, one of which is a crit, are all it takes to take it out. Behind the house I pick up the TM for Payback, which is a pretty good Dark type move, but Foxy is unable to learn it, so let's ignore that ever happened. Back at the train station, Hop gives me the Swift TM, which is nice since it's both stronger than Quick Attack and unable to ever miss. I teach it to Foxy instead of Beat Up, since that attack is utterly useless without a team, and honestly with a team too. We take the train to the wild area, get the Pokédolls just to sell them afterwards since Foxy's ability is run away, so we can flee from anything at any time anyway, and also that would be an item in battle, so yeah, there's that. And we get the box link from Sonia. The wild area is upon us, and there is really only one thing I need to do here right away. Do a bunch of raids to get experience, Dynamax, and rare candies. Cause that's way easier than grinding. And we'll definitely need to eventually hit level 100 at some point. I level up to level 14 for now, and Foxy learned Snarl, a special dark-type move that will most probably be our main form of attack from now on, as Nickit is a special attacker and we get stabbed on a dark-type move. After grinding out a bunch more candies and getting Nickit's Dynamax level to the maximum, making it have the maximum amount of health possible while Dynamaxed, we enter Motorstoke, or as it is called in the German version, Engine City. Sometimes I really don't get what the people responsible for the translation are thinking. I mean, this is basically just a different pun on motors or engines, and the name is still English, so where is the benefit in changing it? Either way, after we talk to Sonia again, we sell all the stuff we got from the raid battles, including the TRs, since none of the ones I got are learnable by Nickit anyway. We heal up, Nurse Joy tells us about the Galarian Slowpoke in the starting town, that we will obviously ignore for this playthrough, and go to register for the gym challenge. We also completely ignore the ball guy since we don't plan on catching anything anymore anyway. We get to choose our jersey number, and I go with Nickit's National Dex number 827. We're supposed to spend the night in the Badoo Inn, but first we need to listen to Sonia tell us about the hero and the darkest day. Fun fact, it is only a day in the English translation. The German translation calls it Dark Night, and the original Japanese calls it Black Night. I found it quite interesting. Either way, after making quick work of Team Yell, we finally fast forward to the next day and get to the opening ceremony. After talking to Rose, we can finally leave for the first badge. On the way out, we pick up a silk scarf and give it to Foxy to hold, so it does 20% more damage with normal type moves. Seeing as we only have normal type moves apart from Snarl, this helps with anything resistant or immune to dark type moves. Also, we have to fight Hop before we leave. He starts with Wooloo, and I snarl him for half his health. His tackle does very little, as Foxy is currently 4 levels higher than his Wooloo, so a second snarl takes it out. His second Pokemon is Sobble, which is level 14 and uses Bind. Snarl does about a third, and Pounce takes me into yellow. Growl is irrelevant as we only use special attacks, and the last Snarl takes Sobble down. Last is his Rookie D, and a Swift and another Snarl are enough, as Pack does very little to us. Another rival battle done. Foxy learns Assurance on the way to the mine, which is physical but also dark type and gets doubled from base 60 to base 120 if we take damage in the turn we use it. Pretty useful if we are slower. Then I ran into a little girl with a Pancham and lose cause fighting type. Now, nicely enough, NPCs are blind, so we can just skip that fight for now. I am not looking forward to the fighting type gym though. Also, when I say NPCs are blind, I mean fucking blind as fuck. Like, dude, I'm right in front of you. The next noteworthy part is the fight against Speed at the end of the first mine. I like calling him Betsy cause his German name is Bettis, as you see in the footage, and he totally looks like a Betsy. So either way, his team is all psychic types, so this should be way easy. What the fuck? Okay, I didn't expect his Solosis to have Endeavor. This move makes the enemy Pokemon's HP go to the same amount as the user's HP. I killed the Solosis off anyway though. His Hatenna is second and only goes into yellow from Snarl, while Disarming Voice, a fairy type move, is super effective and ends this attempt. Attempt 2 is a carbon copy of the attempt 1, with Foxy reaching level 18 between battles. I kinda feel like it would be good to have Nasty Plot to set up on Solosis so I can one-shot the rest of his team. Nickit learns Nasty Plot at level 20, so I use some experience candies to level up. Also, Nickit evolves into Thieful at level 18 normally, so I have to press B every level up now. Either way, third attempt, setting up with one Nasty Plot on Solosis. It still takes me to its own number of HP with Endeavor, but Betsy's entire team gets one shot with Snarl after the Nasty Plot setup. Upon entering Turffield, which got to keep its name between the English and German versions for some reason, I get run over by a reckless roller and briefly consider suing for damages, but as a Wooloo probably doesn't have any money to sue for anyway, I decide against it. We talk to Sonia again, cause story, and get to challenge the first gym. In here we actually talk to the ball guy a single time and get a friend ball. We will need this eventually, don't worry about it for now though. Gym time. We heard some rolling fluff balls around and get to fight the gym leader. His Gossifleur is first, and I set up with Nasty Plot as he magical leaves. After 2 Nasty Plots I Dynamax and take him out with Max Darkness. Second is his Elder Goss, and Max Darkness takes half of its health, while Max Overgrowth hardly hurts us. Another Max Darkness and we're done. First gym badge done. Fun fact by the way, Milo's jersey number is the same meta as mine for this challenge, just with Wooloo's national dex number instead of Nickit's. Did you notice that before? Leave a comment if you did. At this point, Sister Joy can't stop yapping about Gala Slowpoke every goddamn time I heal my Pokemon, so I fly back to Wedgehurst, which is called Raspberry in the German version for some reason. Again, I don't get the translators sometime. And knock the thing out. And it doesn't care that I knocked it out. That's very Slowpoke of it. So the thing probably is a guaranteed catch anyway, so I just throw a ball at it and store it in the box next to Grookey. Also, does the Poison Trainer from the DLC look like a Demon Slayer character to anyone else? I can't be the only one, right? Up next is Route 5, where you'd usually encounter a double battle, but since we are running around with only a Nickit, the reporters actually leave us alone. Kinda like they're trying to say, wait, you only have a single Pokemon and it's a Nickit? Yeah, no way, you're the main character, we won't interview you. Just past the daycare, we run into Team Yell trying to steal a bike, which is like the most criminal thing they do throughout the entire game, and beat them up. Only for the guy being robbed to decide he doesn't really want the bike anyway, so he gives it to us. On the bridge ahead, Hops stops us to battle, so here we go. He leads off with Wooloo, so I set up in his face with 3 Nasty Plots. Nicely enough, he only raises defense, lowers my attack, and tackle crits me once. So I take him down with Snarl. His Corvisquire goes down to a single Snarl as well, and so does his Drizzle. Man, I love Nasty Plot. On this bridge, we can find a few feathers that raise stats. These respawn randomly, so we can always come back and get more. For now, we get 1 for speed and 2 for defense. These work like the medications like Carbos and Iron, but instead of giving 10 EVs on the stat, they only give 1. Still, 1 EV is better than no EV, so I'll just take that. In the next city, called Hulbury in English and Kielten in German, again, no idea why they even bothered changing that, we see President Rose running around in boxer shorts, and go ask NASA for some eye bleach afterwards. Then we do the gym puzzle, the only one I'm doing for the 4th time between my casual playthrough, Nuzlocke, and this, cause it was also the demo at Gamescom. Time to fight Nessa. She leads off with a Goldeen and I start setting up with Nasty Plot. She uses agility, which is useless as she's faster already. 2 more Nasty Plots put me to +6 special attack as she only gets 2 horn attacks off. I Dynamax and Max Darkness Goldeen off the field. Next is her Aerocuda and it also goes down to Max Darkness after landing an Aqua Jet. Her Dreadnought is last and Dynamaxes as well. We leave the Max Geyser on 9 HP and can't quite take out Dreadnought with Max Darkness. Unfortunately, it's faster too, so the next turn Foxy gets washed off the field. Retry that with a few more levels. So I get Foxy to level 29 with some of the experience candies I still have, which puts her health to 69. Nice. Retry on Nessa, and nicely enough, you don't need to redo gym puzzles in this gen, so right for Nessa we go. On the second attempt, I basically do the same thing, but win cause I one-shot the Dreadnought. I wonder how long I can do this kind of tactic. We meet up with Rose and Sonia and go on through Mine 2, where we beat up Betsy again and also beat up Team Yell together with Hop, and then back to Motorstoke and spend another night in the Bedewdrop Inn, after fighting Marnie, that is. She leads off with Krogunk, which is bad since it's part fighting. Boosted Swift doesn't quite one-shot, so Revenge takes Foxy out. Now, since Revenge already takes me to red without me hitting first, setting up is not possible on Krogunk. With the added damage on Revenge for Krogunk taking damage first, I definitely get one shot if I try attacking without boosting. So basically get a few more levels so the boosted Swift does kill, I guess. At level 35 a boosted Swift does kill, her Scraggy goes down to 2 Swifts and her Morpeko uses Quick Attack. Again with a Citrus Parry for healing, and her Morpeko outspeeds, crits, flinches me, and then quick attacks again. Fuck this fight. Another try and her Krogunk lives on 1 health and kills with Revenge. Fuck it, I'm getting some more experience candies and get to level 40. Same as last time, except Morpeko flinches me twice in a row. Once is a 30% chance, twice in a row is 9%. What is it with me and challenge runs and getting absolutely the worst of possible luck? One more time and I set up twice with Nasty Plot on Krogunk, since Revenge doesn't do over half anymore due to being overleveled. This makes all her mons faint in a single Swift each, with Morpeko not flinching me for once. Next is Kabu's Fire Gym, and for the gym puzzle we need to either knock out or catch mons in the gym, so I go get some quick balls in the wild area just to try and cut the time I need to spend on the puzzle. The Pokemon we catch in this are obviously going to go into the box right after the gym, since we can't access the boxes from inside. For now they'll just sit in their balls on the team and collect dust. Kabu leads with Ninetales, so I set up with Nasty Plot twice while he burns me with Will-O-Wisp. Good that burn only halves physical attack as it goes down to a single Snarl. His next mon is Arcanine, who outspeeds with Flame Wheel but also dies to a single Snarl. Last is his Gigantamax Sandyscourge, and I outspeed one-shotting him with Max Darkness. I add the 3 Pokemon from the puzzle to the box and go on back out into the wild area to head towards Hammerlock. That town is called Claw City in German, and it again doesn't make sense that they changed it to a different English name. Claw City does sound cooler than Hammerlock though, honestly. In Hammerlock we check out the history and then go on to Stow on Side for the next badge. But not before mowing down Hop another time. He leads with Cramorant and I start setting up with Nasty Plot. He misses a Fury attack as I keep Nasty Plotting. Pluck steals the berry I had put on Foxy, and after maxing out my special attack, 1 Snarl gets rid of Cramorant. Next is a Silly Cobra, who also goes down to a single Snarl. His Toxel is next and also finds 2 Snarl. Last is his Drizzle. He goes for Sucker Punch, which does little damage seeing as it is a Talk type move, and Snarl takes it out too. I'm pretty sure the upcoming fighting gym won't be that easy. So we enter the gym, run right past Ball Guy as per usual, and get into the challenge. Since all Pokemon in here could easily one-shot Foxy with fighting type attacks, I changed my strategy a bit. Fighting type mons tend to have high attack stats, so I use Foul Play, a move that uses the opponent's attack stat against him. It does way more damage than Swift or Snarl could, especially seeing as I don't have to set up for 3 turns for it. This works until the last gym trainer, who has a Hitmonlee that knows Revenge. That's a 120 base damage move when it comes after the user has taken damage. And it's super effective cause it's fighting type. There is no way I can live that ever. Let's try that specific trainer with old strats. Nope, fighting type attacks are definitely too much for Nickit at this level. So, over level time. Good that I got a bunch more experience candies while going through the wild area. I get Foxy to level 51 with all of my remaining EXP candies and try again. Yeah, nope, still not happening. 2 attacks take me down, so I can't set up enough, and Foul Play doesn't really do more damage when I'm higher level, since, as I said, it uses the opponent's attack stat. Let's try that at another 10 or so levels higher. Again, at level 60. Nope, Revenge still 2 shots, and 1 boost isn't enough to one-shot Hitmonlee. Let's try with an Oran Berry. Maybe that makes me able to take 2 hits. Okay, so he actually got 2 low rolls on Revenge this time, leaving me at 7 health. If I had still been holding the Silk Scarf, that would have been enough, so I gotta get lucky, but this is realistically possible. The next attempt, he low rolls twice, leaving me at 5 HP, while I nasty plot twice. Swift, while being boosted by the Silk Scarf, is enough for a one-shot this time. Next is his Hitmonchan, who knows Mach Punch, which is a priority attack, so he takes me out. Okay, so since the gym trainers aren't the worst AI, he will never use anything but Mach Punch in that situation. And we've already established that Hitmonlee will always use Revenge. Therefore, we have exactly one way of making this possible in any way, without breaking rules. I didn't think I'd need to do this in the 4th gym already, but I'll go ahead and get Foxy to level 100. I am again very thankful for EXP candies and rare candies from raids, since that makes it a whole lot easier. There is one more thing I could do, and that's getting the only move that Nickit could learn that would be super effective on fighting types, Play Rough. However, that TR did not show up for me while doing raids for the candies, and none of the WOT traders had it either. Either way, let's see how we do at level 100. Revenge now does not do nearly as much, but just to be sure, I'll set up with Nasty Plot twice. Both Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan go down to single Swifts, finally letting me get to the gym leader. She leads with Hitmontop, and I go for the same strategy as with the last gym trainer. 2 nasty plots and then 1 shot with Swift. Her Bangoro is next and also goes down to a single Swift. She goes to Surf Edge next and stalls 1 turn by using Detect, but the second turn Swift 1-shots again. Last is a Gigantamax Machamp, so I Dynamax and take it out with Max Strike. This was probably the hardest gym we'll face, so let's hope we won't have any more issues from now on. Coming out of the gym, Betsy is destroying a child's painting on an old wall, so we get to beat him up again. As all his team is still Psychic type, this is a one-shot sweet fest of course. He then gets disqualified from the gym challenge and we can finally go on to Bellonleer. That town is called Fairbally in German, which again is just a random change from one English name to another that I will never understand why they do them. No battle on the way through the Glimwood Tangle is mandatory, as the only trainers that would be in the way are a double battle that doesn't happen since I only have 1 Pokemon. Obviously I head right for the gym to get the badge. There isn't an actual puzzle this time, just a few questions during battle that lower or raise your stats based on whether you give the correct answer. As I have beaten this gym twice by now, I obviously know the answers and get free boosts. The gym trainers are pushovers, so we go right to the leader fight. She leads with Galarian Weezing, I set up with Nasty Plot once, and that should honestly be enough to sweep. She Fairy Winds and I answered the question correctly, giving me a speed boost I probably didn't need. 1 Swift takes Weezing out, next is her Mawile, but a single Snarl is all it takes. Her Togekiss comes out and gets swifted back into its ball, and finally her Gigantamax Alcremie is out. The final question boosts my defense and special defense, and I Dynamax as she Gigantamaxes. Max Darkness takes her to red and she uses G-Max Finale. 1 more turn and Max Strike finishes her off. Easy. Opal escorts us back to Hammerlock and we go through the weird part of the story where Opal very obviously harasses Speed. Then we face Hop again. The only one of his Pokemon that we don't one-hit without even boosting is Snorlax, who goes down to 2 Snarls instead of 1. Really not worth mentioning more of this. The route to Circhester is uneventful, so I go right for the gym. And as per usual, right by the ball guy without even acknowledging him. This gym puzzle is easily my second least favorite ever, just after Surge's trash cans, since the placement of the holes is stupid and you're legit faster just randomly running around falling into holes and then running the right path afterwards than trying to get the detector to actually show you anything useful. Either way, leader fight. His first Pokemon is a Barbarical, and I set up with Nasty Plot while he Shell Smashes. The following turn, a single Snarl is all it takes. Next is his Shuckle, which goes down to a single Snarl as well. He goes to Stunjourner and again gets sent home with a single Snarl. And lastly, his Gigantamax Colossal is out and dies to a single Max Darkness. Again, easy. Sonia takes us to a restaurant called Bob's Your Uncle for some story exposition, and we mop the floor with Hop again, then we leave for the Dark-type gym. We get our bike upgraded by beating up Team Yell and bike our way over the water to Spikeford. Once there, Marnie gets us in through the back door after defeating her. Off to the gym, which basically is the entire city. Unfortunately, they won't let us enter with only 1 Pokemon, since there's a mandatory double battle in this gym. So, going by the rules of this challenge, you can't beat the game with only 1 Nickit, and this is the end of the challenge. Just kidding, we obviously put the level 25 Sizzlipede we got in the Motostoke gym on the team for this, since it knows Coil, which is just a stat boost move, and won't do anything to the opponents. Also, just for the heck of it, I wanna try what happens if I have my second Pokemon faint before the double battle, so what the fuck? I can access my boxes and get Sizzlipede off the team again? That seems broken. Let's see what that does. So, the guy that usually starts the double battle basically mocks you for only having 1 usable Pokemon and tells you to jog on if you don't have a revive. So let's actually do the thing with Coil on Sizzlipede. Oh, and just in case you think, why don't you use a Magikarp? It literally doesn't matter what I have out, and I already have the Sizzlipede, but no Magikarp. So just for the hell of it, let's go over the double battle. I Nasty Plot on Foxy and tell Sizzlipede to Coil. They slash on Foxy and Poison Fang on Sizzlipede, killing it. See, I told you it's irrelevant. Next turn, Swift one-shots both enemy Pokemon. Done. At least we know what we'll do with Raihan's gym now, since I'm pretty sure he won't let you in with 1 Pokemon either. Since the gym leader is not a double battle, I box Sizzlipede again and go for the battle. He starts off with Scrafty and flinches me with Fake Out. I set up with Nasty Plot the next turn and he sand attacks. Unfortunately for him, I have Swift, which doesn't check for accuracy, so I hit him to literally 1 HP. That lucker. Another Swift kills him, obviously. Next is Obstagoon, and he goes for what is basically a glorified Protect. A Swift takes him into red the next turn, and he uses Throat Chop, which does nothing, cause Dark type. Since I know he'd go for the Protect move again, I set up with another Nasty Plot, and he goes down to Swift the next turn. He goes to Malamar, so I go for Snarl, since it's also neutral but gets Stab, forgetting I was Sand attacked, so I miss once. Night Slash does nothing, so the next turn Snarl kills. Last is his Skunk Tank, and he uses Sucker Punch, again doing almost nothing, and Swift takes him out immediately. Badge number 7 done. So we go back to Hammerlock for the final badge. I heal Sizzlipede so I can use it in the doubles again, and head right for the gym. So Raihan is apparently a fan of Temtem, cause his entire gym is double battle based. Either way, the gym trainers are easy, so onwards to the leader himself. He leads with Flygon and Gigalith, I Nasty Plot, and he takes out Sizzlipede with Breaking Swipe. Rock Blast hits Foxy 3 times, and Snarl doesn't do enough damage to take anyone out next turn. Between another Breaking Swipe, a Body Press, and a Sandstorm, Foxy faints. This seems a bit hard. Second attempt, I Dynamax after Nasty Plotting, so I take out his Gigalith, Sandaconda, and his Gigantamax Duraludon with 1 Max Darkness each. And then lastly one-shot Flygon with Snarl. Nice. Off to the final route and Winden for the league. Oh, and Winden is called Score City in the German version. Again, no idea why they changed that. Oh, and Sizzlypede obviously goes off the team again since we aren't getting any more mandatory double battles. In Winden, we go directly to Winden Stadium and get into the semi-finals. Let's do this. Our first opponent is Marnie, she leads with Liepard and we both Nasty Plot. I Nasty Plot a second time, she snarls, dropping my special attack. So I'm only at +3. Swift one-shots her either way, next is her Scrafty and Swift one-shots again. Her Toxicroak is next and again 1 Swift is all it takes. She sends out her Morpeko and you know the drill by now, Swift. Her final one is a Gigantamax Grimmsnarl, I Dynamax, she Gigantamaxes and Max Strike one-shots. Round 1 done. Second is Hob, he leads with Dubwool. I Nasty Plot, he decides to go for Cotton Guard. I Nasty Plot a second time, he decides boosting physical defense is still what he wants to do. I take the free setup and max out my special attack with another Nasty Plot while he body slams me. The following turn Snarl takes him out. Snorlax is next and obviously at +6 Snarl one-shots. Pincurchin is next on the list and also goes down to a single Snarl, same for his Corviknight. And then his Inteleon is out. We both Dynamax and Max Darkness one-shots. And now for the shoehorned in part with Rose and his secretary. None of the story elements from here on out make much sense, so just quick recap, we meet the secretary, she makes us hunt for the key to get to the monorail to drag out gameplay. We eventually get to Rose Tower, fight our way up an elevator, fight the secretary, listen to Rose and Leon talk, and finally get back to the actual tournament. For now. Betsy interrupts us, so we have to fight him first. Him and his new fairy team. He leads with Mawile and I Nasty Plot. He goes for Play Rough, I Snarl. He survives at red health and gets me to red with another Play Rough. I Snarl again and he uses a max potion and is still in red health. Swift takes him out the next turn, Gardevoir is next. And Snarl doesn't kill, so Dazzling Gleam takes me out. Well then, 2 Nasty Plots next time. By the way, did you know this elevator to the side is a thing? Didn't have to use that up until now, so I didn't know that. After 2 Nasty Plots, I have 10 HP left. Snarl, the Mawile, Dynamax, and Max Darkness one-shot Gardevoir, Galarian Rapidash, and his Gigantamax Hatterene. Nessa is the first actual contestant in the finals we face, and basically we go for the same strat. Her Golisopod sword dances so we don't even get hit while setting up. And after that her Sea King, Barraskewda, Pelipper, and Gigantamax Dreadnought all get one shot. Up next is Bay, the fighting type gym leader. She leads with Hawlucha, I set up with Nasty Plot, and Jump Kick takes over half my health. At almost exactly double her level. Dude. I use Snarl cause I'm an idiot and another attack from her is all it takes. Okay, let's try not being dumb and use a move that's not resisted by the enemy next time. At least, unlike the usual Elite Four fights, we don't have to replay any of the previous battles, so second attempt right away. I set up, she misses high jump kick and takes off half her own health. I decide to set up again, since I can probably live one attack, and she misses a second high jump kick and knocks herself out. The rest of her team gets one-shotted with Swift up until her Gigantamax Machamp, who goes down to a Max Strike. This should have been the hardest one of the fights, seeing as the rest of the field will not be super effective on us, most likely. Raihan is next, this time in a single battle. I Nasty Plot twice on his Torkoal, who Solar Beams me twice for little damage. Snarl takes it out. Same for his Turtonator. His Goodrell lives one Snarl, uses Rain Dance, gets healed, and dies to 2 Swifts. Flygon flames to a Snarl, and Gigantamax Duraludon gets Max Darkness one shot. Here we go, finale. Never mind, Rose decides to induce the darkest days, so off to fight Rose first. So we go to the forest from the start and find the legendaries, we take the old sword and shield and fly back to Hammerlock and fight Rose in the basement. He leads with Escavalier, I go for Nasty Plot, and he one-shots me with Megahorn. Well, fuck. Can I even survive this in any way? Let's try everything we can, shall we? Snarl! Yeah, no. Also, Rose says that was a bit harsh, don't you think you're overdoing it here? Says the guy that fucking one-shots me at level 100! Anyway, we can safely assume Swift won't do more, cause resistance from being a part steel, so foul play. That's really close, maybe that's doable, I'll retry that for a bit. On the next attempt, I one-shot with foul play. Okay, so this is doable. Ferrothorn is next, so I Nasty Plot. He does good damage with a body press and 2 Snarls kill, while he only curses the next turn. Clang Clang comes out and gets one shot with Snarl. He goes to Berserker and again gets one shot. And finally, his Gigantamax Copperaja gets Max Darkness off the field after 2 turns too. Up next is the fight with Eternatus. The initial fight against it in its normal form proves to already be hard, as it doesn't quite go down before it kills us. Another try with foul play, since it should have quite high attack. Okay, that's the strat, just without it using Dynamax Cannon. How does this thing outspeed me anyway? I hate legendaries sometimes. So just 3 turns of foul play would be fine, if the goddamn thing could stop critting me every fucking turn. The worst part about this is that I need to watch the fucking cutscene of Leon failing to catch it every damn time. After a few more resets, Eternatus goes down and Eternamaxes. Skip to actually calling the legendaries and winning the raid. And now you know why I got the friend ball earlier from the ball guy. We catch Eternatus with it, cause it's now our friend. That we will let rot in a PC forever, cause that's how friendship works. Can we please beat Leon now? Leon leads with Aegislash, I set up with Nasty Plot as he uses King's Shield. Another Nasty Plot and he uses Sacred Sword to get me to yellow health. Snarl one-shots the next turn. Next is his Seismitoad, I miss Snarl and Earthquake kills. Reset. Again, fuck the unskippable cutscenes in Pokemon games, in general. Same deal, this time Snarl one-shot Seismitoad, Haxorus also goes down to a Snarl, and out comes Cinderace. I call him outspeeding and Dynamax to live the hit. Max Darkness finishes Cinderace off. Dragapult is next and also outspeeds and finishes Foxy off with a Dragon Breath. God damn it, stop outspeeding me! After changing strategy a bit, we kill Aegislash after only 1 Nasty Plot, so we don't get hit by super effective hits. His Seismitoad keeps living the Snarl after the second Nasty Plot, so I go back to Hammerlock, and get the Wise Glasses to boost my special attack by another 10%. We won't use Swift anyway, so Silk Scarf is kinda useless this way. So with all of these strategy changes, we get all the way to Gigantamax Charizard, but it outspeeds cause the Dragon Breath parried me one more time. 1 Nasty Plot on the first turn while he uses King Shield, 1 shot with Snarl, another Nasty Plot and get hit by Earthquake, then Snarl kills and another Snarl takes out Haxorus. Then Dynamax to not die to Cinderace outspeeding and Max Darkness for the kill. Dragapult goes for Flamethrower this time, so Max Darkness kills. And last is his Gigantamax Charizard, who outspeeds anyway and kills us. I wonder if I had lived that from full health. Seismitoad does go for Toxic sometimes, and if it does, that can miss, so we could end up with full health on Cinderace. Let's try till we get that to happen, I guess. Have I mentioned unskippable cutscenes are literal cancer? A few attempts later, I get to Charizard and it uses Max Airstream, leaving me on 4 HP. Max Darkness one-shots, and that is finally it. We beat Pokemon Sword only using a Nickit. Man, that was sure a bit more luck than anything else at the end there. Thanks for watching this video and make sure to subscribe for more of this in the future. Also check out the other challenge runs I've done, link of the playlist is in the description. Next we'll go back to the rival team challenges and try doing that in Diamond and Pearl. Those games are painstakingly slow though, so that might take quite a while to finish. Until then though, I'll transfer our hero Foxy as well as our friend Eternatus over to Pokemon Home so they don't get stuck in this save file forever. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, and until next time, I'm WW Dadman. Bye.